Hi everyone, welcome to Rishi Tarot. Today we will be asking Rishi what happens a year from now. That is with respect to your career or with your money situation. For those who are unfamiliar, the Rishi are the seers of the Vedas. They are the original light beings, and if you want to find out more about them, I will be soon providing a link to my website that I'm currently setting up. And I will go into further details about the Rishi tradition, which is still very much alive in Thailand, where it's a combination of Theravada Buddhism, Hindu cosmology, and your local shamanistic culture. Now, for today's question, we have 4 pals. Here is pal 1, pal 2, pal 3, and pal 4. If you already know which pal to select, please fast forward to the timestamp allocated below. And if you don't, do feel free to pause the video and select your card. Now, this is a general reading, so take only what your intuition validates. Okay, let's begin. Hi pal 1, welcome to your reading. So today we will be asking Rishi about our careers and our money situation 1 year from now. So it appears that you have recently embarked on something new. This could be a new project, a new job, or a new business. I'm getting the sense that it's more of your own personal endeavor. Like it could be a project that could turn into a business. Whatever it is, you are enthusiastic about your new idea and you're full of ambition and you're well prepared to embark on this journey. Whatever field or path that you have chosen to take on, you're on the right path. You are certainly on the right path. Now, a year from now, you're gonna do very well. A year from now, whatever this endeavor that you have just embarked on, it's gonna pay off. Financially, you're gonna be in a better position. You're going to be you're going to be brought to safety. Now, that's not to say that the journey to get there is going to be easy. There are some challenges along the way, but nothing that you cannot overcome or deflect, but your situation will improve. Now, the most important thing is that a year from now, you're really going to excel. You're really going to excel at what you have chosen, this path that you have chosen to walk down and take on. Now, I also see that this endeavor that you are embarking on, it feels a little bit like a calling. Now, it may not be obvious to you at the moment, but I see that you're divinely guided. That is almost as if that you are on some kind of mission and you are co-creating with spirit, and you are a vessel of communication and you're a vessel of action for spirit. Now, whatever that you chose to do, that you chose to embark on, it feels like it's got a lot to do with content creation. So, or involves writing, it involves the media, it involves, well, communication, and it definitely involves some level of intellect. So you've thought it through, and you're full of energy to get this done. Now, everything looks great here. The one small advice that has been given is that you gotta hone in on your creativity. Now, it feels here that you've thought this process through very logically. Like, how is this path going? How am I going to monetize this path that I've taken on? Now, that will come. The execution, the strategy, perhaps even marketing, you've thought it through, right? And you're not afraid to go to face whatever challenges that might entail. So you've got that done, and that's great. Now, the one advice here is that you have to really hone in on your creativity, because whatever you're doing, there is an element of artistic expression being brought forth. Now, we often assume that the arts are just about maybe graphic design, etc. There are many things that involve the creative mind, and so what the advice here is, you're doing great. You're on the right track. You've thought it through logically. You've got it all planned out. Don't forget to nurture your creative side, because this is going to serve you very well down the line. And it's important to, I'm also getting the message that because you are being divinely guided, the intuitive part of you, it needs to, the floodgates of your intuition needs to be wide enough to receive whatever message that spirit has to deliver to you. And precisely because you are the agent of change, you are executing some divine plan, and you're part of this big plan. And so by remaining very receptive to what your intuition has to tell you, that's where you co-create with spirit. Okay, now the other advice, and this comes from your oracle card, from The Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. Now, your advice to be yourself, that whatever endeavor, whatever this path is going to lead to, it's very important to be 100% authentic to yourself. And by that, I mean, now whatever path we do take, we're often faced with the societal or conventional limitations. And it is a form of judgment that others impose on us. And it's also a form of self-judgment that we impose on ourselves. Now, it is, once you manage to be 100% authentic, prosperity will come. It's almost as if once you're fully embodied in your authenticity, everything becomes aligned. I think it's great that you have found your mission, and that this mission is very much aligned with the divine plan. And so really all you got to do is be receptive, stay open to whatever your intuition tells you, be authentic, shed off whatever superficial persona that you had to put on because you were afraid of people judging you. Now cast that all aside. Remain driven, because you're clearly very driven and motivated. Now, this is great. I see a very balanced situation here. Things are going to work out, and financially things will improve. And wow, you're like one of the agents of change for Divine's plan. There is a lot installed for you, Pal One. I'm very excited. I think this is a very positive outcome. Whatever challenges you might face, you'll overcome it. You just have to stay true to yourself. Okay, for my Pal One, I'm very excited for what you guys or you girls are up to. You are an agent of change, and a year from now, more will be revealed along the way. But a year from now, you will start to see the bigger picture. You're very new along this journey. You just started. But a year from now, things will really clarify. And that's where you will look back and the dots will start connecting. And you will realize that a lot of layers and twists and turns of the plot had to be, you had to go through all that to get to where you are. And the spirit has a plan for you. So, okay. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you do, give me a like and subscribe. Thank you for tuning. Hi, Paul 2. Welcome to your reading. So, right off the bat, financially and with respect to your career, you're in a good position. You got the Sun card, and it really doesn't get any better from here. So, you're in a comfortable and stable position financially and with respect to your career. Things are looking great. Now, for the year ahead, there will be a lot of changes. I don't see this being negative or greatly positive or negative changes. They seem pretty neutral. However, the rapid changes that are going on externally is going to result in two possible future paths for you. Whatever external circumstance that is creating some level of chaos, it affects you on a more emotional and mental level. It doesn't shake your pockets, or it doesn't affect you in that respect. I see it as more a mental and emotional confusion. So these external circumstances that is going to happen for the year ahead, it results in two possibilities. Now, the first possibility, I'll start with the bad, is you resort to some form of retail therapy. Now, it's very common for people. I'm not going to say women because it applies to men just as well. It is very common for us to replace our emotional hurts or our just overall the satisfaction in life with consuming. We end up buying things we think we want, but we really don't need. And that's going to be a form of outlet for you. Now, that's the first possibility. However, we have a second possibility for my Pal 2. A year from now, you may have a form of awakening. It's as if your mindset completely shifts a year from now. And you start becoming more charitable. You start looking into philanthropy. You start looking into how you can help others. Now, you don't necessarily need to be just donating money to help people. There are many ways. I see that you have a lot of abilities. And whatever skill sets that you have picked up in your current career, you can definitely apply it to whatever altruistic endeavor you so choose to. I see you, my pal, too. You are going to be faced with a choice a year from now. And you have two options. You can either go towards the path of self-gratification and just splurge and indulge in yourself, or you can take on a more noble path and you start giving yourself to others. My pal, too, you are faced with a choice. A year from now, you will have to make that choice, or you will be faced with that choice eventually. You will be asked, do I continue to care about myself only and just focus on self-indulgence? Or is there a greater meaning to my purpose here on earth? And how can I help the masses? You're in a very unique and good position to be able to help. To be able to help others, you've got to be in a position of luxury that you can afford. So Spirit has given you a choice because you have the free will to decide. Now, the advice here is you probably are going to choose, your heart probably wants to help, you know. Now, but there are some mental obscurations, conditionings that are holding you back. Well, for one, it's your spending habit. So if you do like to indulge in yourself, um, perhaps make a list of what is a necessity and what is not. I mean, perhaps the most your facial cream is a necessity. We'll let that go, but maybe you don't need that new pair of shoes. You have to work that through. Now, you're working that through not because you are in any financial constraint and therefore you're figuring this out, but you're asking yourself, how much is enough? Whenever we consume, be it just another facial product or perhaps a new rug, we are taking resources out of the system. And your role, you're in a unique position where you are in the center of the resource system. You could spend your resources and just keep it in the same loop and it keeps within yourself, or you're in a position where you could redistribute those resources. So your task a year from now is to get straight and get real on your values. Now, it may sound as if, okay, you're just going to be charitable and you're just going to be altruistic. It's not so simple, because there is a term called effective altruism. Just because we're giving money away doesn't mean that the money is being put to good use. Now, you can also argue that by spending or indulging yourself, you're helping the economy, and that is also true. So your task is to figure out how effective are you spending your money? How is that helping or contributing to the bigger picture that is out there? Now, if your heart really calls you to just be on the front line and just go dive straight into philanthropy, please follow your heart. But keep in mind that logic is necessary here, because there is a form of practical giving and there is a form of non-practical giving. And you are also being tasked to be the discerning eye for what constitutes effective charity or what constitutes effective altruism. And you are being tasked with this mission because you have the abundance. You have the abundance of money and time, and you have skill sets to help other people. Now, if you don't see it clear, if you don't see that immediately, definitely rein in on your spending. Now, the second advice I am getting is that for those who do who do retail therapy, your anxieties or whatever is causing you emotional stress, that is something you have to tackle. So perhaps instead of resorting to retail therapy, perhaps some of you so you could be investing in your well-being. That could mean taking a yoga class, getting a meditation coach, or some form of holistic therapy for yourself. That is a necessity and less of a want. So be very clear about your needs versus your wants. Okay, my pal 2. You are in a very you're in an excellent position. I see that a year from now you are definitely on track if you feel called as a mission to help other people. It's a very noble act, and I wish you all the best in it. For the other possibility, where it's about retail therapy and overspending, definitely consider investing in holistic therapies that can improve your well-being. All right. This has been a very positive reading from my pal 2. I'm very excited. Whatever changes there are ahead for you, I see a lot of good things coming. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you do, please give it a like and subscribe. Thank you. Hi, pal 3. Welcome to your reading. So, for my pal 3, off the bat, there is a gap between your expectation of how things ought to be and the reality of the situation. I see that you have your eyes set on a very high goal. You're very ambitious and you really want to make this happen. However, your expectation as it currently stands is disconnected with the reality of your situation. So, 2 possibilities. First, if you're running your own investment or you have a business and you're an entrepreneur, you are looking to expand or you're looking to invest more because you're trying to recuperate some of the losses that you have suffered recently. If you're employed, you might have suffered some setbacks at work and you're looking for new employment. Or you've had setbacks at work and a lot of it has to do with not getting along with your coworkers. There is a lot of competition and strife. If you belong to the other category where your work situation just isn't helping, but you're full of ambition. So either way, pile 3, you're full of ambition. However, your expectations are not aligned with what's currently happening in reality. So I'm going to start with the pile 3 who are running their own businesses and or who are looking to invest. Then I will go on to my pile 3 who are currently having issues or political issues with respect to their coworkers or looking for a new job. For those of pile 3 who are looking to invest or expand their business, in order to recuperate some of the losses they have suffered, the advice is this is not the right time. If you were to go down this path and continue to expand through investing or expanding your resources, you're not going to be happy a year from now. I hate to say this, but if you go down this path a year from now, you will potentially see losses, disappointment, and failure. Now, as a matter of how much money one loses, it's very subjective. Like, someone could lose 1% of their money and cry their heart out, or someone could lose 10% of their money and just be like, whatever. So it is very subjective. But whatever the case is, it could be a small amount. It could be a manageable amount. It could be a large amount. But either way, you're going to be very emotionally upset about it. So the advice here is not to invest, not to take on whatever opportunity, however shiny and glossy it may seem. If you're running a business, this is not the time to be putting in any more resources into your business. And if so, you're being presented with business opportunities or investment opportunities, you need to be saying no. You're better off sitting on a pile of cash if you're in that category of looking into investments. So basically, this is the time to take risk off the table. There's always a balance between risk and reward. And the greater risk you take, the greater the reward. But similarly, the greater the loss. So for pile 3, this is a time to be cautious. This is a time to be prudent. For your oracle card, you have chaos and conflict. So you need to be very careful. And it is best that you do not start expanding your business or do any more investments at this point in time. If you had suffered some losses, let it go. Let it go. Because in the long run, whatever actions you choose to take, it's better that now is a time of inaction. All right? So don't do anything. Okay? It is best you don't invest and don't expand or throw any more money into your business. Now, for my other pile 3, where you are facing some difficulties at work, or you might have lost your job, you're actively seeking employment, or you're doing your best. Okay, you're doing your best, and the advice here is that your expectations are not in line with what's happening right now. So if you're in a category where you're employed, but you're not getting along with your coworkers because everyone's being so competitive, there's politics and some backstabbing involved, you're being asked to step away from it. This is a time to actually reduce your expectation, and if you can find it in your heart to forgive them, forgive them for being competitive, for fighting with you. If you can take one big step back and be a bigger person, you're going to benefit in the long run. By laying low at the moment, by reducing your expectation of what your job offers you, that is how you get through this chaos. The chaos is external. Circumstances have changed. And to get through this chaos, you gotta lay low. This is not the time to strive for more. For those who are looking for a job, there is a lot of competition, no doubt. Now, the advice is the same. You need to keep your expectations in check. You're probably you're probably feeling like you're overqualified for some of the jobs that you may have to end up applying for, but that's okay. You know, we often place how much we're worth based on what we're getting paid. And in all honesty, you're probably worth way more than you're getting paid. But this is not the time to be thinking about that because the circumstances have changed. And so you have to lower your expectations and you have to start narrowing down your options. Sometimes we just have to be humble and modest because the situation isn't very helpful at the moment. Now, I see that you are actually being asked to train your humility. It may be hard for your ego to accept a lower position, but the skill sets you pick up is going to affect your personality. And I see that there are some hidden benefits. So don't let your ego get in the way of you seeking employment in so-called positions that you deem, where you're overqualified. That's a pitfall, thinking that you're overqualified. You probably are, but there are some skill sets that you will pick up, in a lesser job that is going to benefit you in the long run. You don't see it yet, but it's hidden. So you can avoid this heartbreak, my pal 3. You can avoid this heartbreak and you can choose a different path for yourself. Definitely the overall advice from my pal 3, whether you're a businessman or looking to invest or you're looking for a job, whatever the case is, you gotta tone it down. You gotta tone it down. Whether it's your appetite for greater rewards, or your appetite for recognition, or how you're being valued at work, whichever the case is, the commonality for my pal 3 is your expectations versus reality. Because reality has changed. There's chaos and conflict for the year to come for my pal 3. So you gotta start adapting to those changes. Those expectations of yours might have been serving you well when times are different, but now things have changed. So that your expectations have to be lowered in order to fit the ongoing times right now. Okay, my pal 3, don't make any bold moves. Go for the lower hanging fruit if you're looking for a job. And if you're looking at investments or expanding your business, just take risk off the table. If you just sit on cash if you have to. This is not the time to be taking any risk. Okay, my pal 3, this can be avoided. This future can be avoided if you make the wise decision. I wish you well. I gave you the terrain of what's to come, so the choice lies with you. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you do, give it a like and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. Hi, Pal 4. Welcome to your reading. So, for my Pal 4, there is an overwhelming responsibility going on with respect to your job or with respect to your financial situation. You feel like you've taken on too much, or you're being assigned too much by your boss. And financially speaking, you might be in debt, or you might owe people money, the bank, or some other form of financial burden but it is becoming very overwhelming. Or say it's your mortgage, or your rent, and you're having a really hard time trying to make it come together. So if this is still your energy, that's going to change very soon, or it might already have. Because what I see happening is that you're going to get it together. You're going to cast it aside in your mind and you're going to say, hey, I'm better than this. I can do better. So if you don't find yourself in this position currently, you very soon will. Because you're going to get your act together and you are going to plan. You're going to strategize. You'll figure out what you want to do and what you're best at doing. And once you have made that decision on which direction to head towards, you will find your path. Because a year from now, things are going to change drastically. A year from now, you're going to find your abundance and your prosperity. You got the Empress card for your future position. And this is an excellent, excellent card to be having. Now, a year from now, I see that you will also find your tribe. You will find your support system. Because right now, you're doing this all by yourself. Or if you have family members, you feel like you're being ignored. So, and if you're working and you're having this overwhelming responsibility being thrown to you, your coworkers are not collaborating or your boss is not helping you out. Now, all that is going to change because a year from now, you're going to find your support group. You're going to get clear on which way you're going to go. You're going to get clear on how you're going to move forward in life, how you're going to get over this overwhelming responsibilities, how you're going to pay off your debt, and you'll figure it out. I see that a year from now, you will be blossoming. There will be a very comfortable amount of abundance coming your way. Whichever direction you have chosen to take on is the right track. If you don't see it now, you soon will. And so a year from now, you're going to find yourself with not just a lot of monetary abundance, but I also see a lot of friendship and family. I see a lot of love. So a year from now, things are really going to change for you, my pal 4. It could even be a relationship, a romantic relationship. But whatever the case is, you're going to be blooming. You're blossoming. So the advice for my pal 4 is to find your calling. There is a mission. There is a goal. There is a vocation that is calling out for you to do. And if you already know what that is, the advice is to stay consistent and to stay passionate about it. Now, if you don't, then it will soon come to you. But you have to dig deep into yourself. You really got to ask yourself, spend some solitude, spend some time alone and think about what makes you really happy. Because my pal 4, you have a lot of good things coming your way. If you're feeling a little stuck as to where to go at the moment, look deep within. What makes you happy? What makes you passionate? That is what you will go after. You have an ideal. I see you being an ideal fighter. Fight for your ideals. Fight for your values. And if you're not clear what that is, look deep within. Now, for my pal 4, there is another advice, and that is you are to remain receptive of what comes your way. I don't see just one opportunity. I see several opportunities coming your way, and they might not be so obvious, to you at the initial, but if you're staying receptive and open, then you're going to find your way. You're going to find your way to your happiness. So definitely stay receptive and stay open. Now, that being said, you are also warned that there might be some hidden uncertainties and pitfalls along the way. It may not be a very, I don't see them being particularly obstructive. However, there might be minor setbacks along your journey. As with any journey, this is nothing new. You are being asked to be discerning. Now, you can remain receptive and open, yet discerning. Discerning, when you are discerning, you are not subjective. You are very objective. You can remain open to all the possibilities and all the offers that come your way or people that come your way. But as you are being asked to be receptive and open, you are also being asked to be very careful and discerning. It is a fine balance. It is a work in progress. But as you start learning how to balance between being receptive and open and welcoming to everything that the universe throws your way, yet at the same time being very careful and discerning and objective about who you devote your energy to, about the different opportunities and offers that come your way, that is when you build wisdom. So this is your task, my Pal 4. You're going to get out of your current situation. That is clear. You have so much going for you, my Pal 4. I'm very excited to see you move on. You're going to get clear, you're going to get your act together, and you will find your way. The advice is to remain open and discerning. Now, my Pal 4, you are, this is one of the best pal I've got so far. So whatever situation, however difficult it may be, and I can see it's tough, it's taken a toll on your mental health, your emotions, that's okay. That's about to end. Things are going to get better. But you have to start planning. All right, if you're not here at this stage where you're starting the plan, start doing that. And if you're at a stage where you've got it figured out of which way you want to go, well, keep at it. Keep at it. Stay passionate. Don't lose the steam. Keep going at it. Okay, my Pal 4. This has been an excellent reading, to see the difference between the two cards, like where you are, you've got the 10 of Wands, and then a year from now, you're at the Empress. This is very optimistic, and I'm very happy for you. So if you like this reading, definitely give it a like and subscribe. I'm very excited for my Pal 4. I'm glad I ended this reading for today with your pal. It's very positive energy just emanating from your cards. I would very much like to thank Rishi here for the guidance today. And Pal 4, stay strong. You got this. You got this.